So, Mr. President, remember, despite the outcome of the secret war, my elders and I and my people believe that the Hmong had fought on the right side of history. We have fought on the right side of history. My fellow senator, your vote green will justify the fact that my people indeed fought on the right side of history. And today will say it all. Let's write this American story together by passing this amendment. So thank you, my fellow senator, and thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a roll call.
A roll call has been requested. A roll call will be granted. Discussion on the amendment. Senator Pratt.
But Senator Hur, I don't want to necessarily honor your community and maybe feel like I'm treating someone else unfairly. And so, Senator Hur, what I'd like to do is ask you to withdraw your amendment, and with my promise that we will put this on the agenda of the Council for Asian Pacific Minnesotans and take it up at our next meeting. And let's get that input back to the legislature so that we can do this collaboratively and with the full support.
Senator Hur.
Senator Pratt, Mr. President, I appreciate the offer, but this legislature has been in the queue for the last 3 years. I value the legacy of my elders, my forebear. And if the door is not open today, this would be the last time that I will present this on the floor. Because I value them highly, I'd rather not be this like a kid asking for candy every single time for this. Because out of respect and honor, I will open my door to recognize any other group of people that come and ask me to put legislation forth and recognize their service. I will be happy to be their champion for doing that. But for me to withdraw, I will not withdraw today, but perhaps this will be the last time that I will push this legislation forward. It's not that I'm surrendering, but because of the respect and the honor and the legacy, I want to hold my forebear in the highest.
Today is our opportunity to say thank you. And for it to be remembered. There's something about history, because even when our Maker calls us home one day and we are no longer enjoying the sun, shine, and the great state of Minnesota, that we would hope our young people will know of the great sacrifices of the Hmong community and the elders, because they can look back on a day that has been set aside in order for us to pay appreciation and to applaud those who made it possible for us to stand here today.
And so I know that the Hmong deserve their recognition, as Senator Hur graciously has brought this amendment forward. And I believe that we should also, in turn, recognize others that have fought alongside them. And so I, Mr. President, would like to bring the A11 and amend his amendment. A111, I'm sorry.
Senator Anderson, thank you for your amendment to my amendment. I would say, let me be very slow and carefully what I say. This amendment is good as a standalone by itself, but not to my amendment. So if it's not an amendment to my amendment and as a standalone amendment, I will support it. I will support any recognition of Veterans Day for all people of any kind, any group in our state, Minnesota, and in our country. But if it's just to delete my amendment, I will not take that as a friendly amendment.
This is our Hmong American community. It is very large. It is very important to us. And it is time we honored them. Now, these are people of integrity and character who say, we asked you once, We asked you twice. We asked you 3 times. We will not beg. We will not ask again, because that makes us beggars, and we are too tall and too strong to be seen as beggars. We will not ask again. Please do not vote for this under this amendment to the amendment, because it diffuses out a very important thing that we need to do, which is to honor our Hmong American community here in Minnesota.
The Hmong people became very important to me, and for 6 years my practice was in St. Paul from 1978 to 1984. Senator Herr, the difficulty that I have had with your amendment is that I don't want to slight a group that we're not going to mention. And yet I keep coming back to the fact that in an effort to not overlook someone, would that be enough of a reason to not support Senator Herr's amendment? So having said all that, I think Senator Herr's amendment allows for other groups to be recognized as they might need to be recognized. And so I will oppose this amendment so that we don't circumvent the intention that Senator Herr has put forth in his amendment. Thank you.
Further discussion on the amendment to the amendment. Senator Anderson.
I hate to get into a heated battle, and I would like to withdraw the amendment to the amendment.
I had friends and relatives come back from Vietnam, and some were involved in this secret war, which our own president was saying wasn't happening. I can't tell you how much of an impact the Hmong have had on my life, in that we spent in Mankato a lot of time fundraising for the refugee camps in Laos and Cambodia, and got to know individuals as they were sponsored to come over to the United States. So I strongly support this. I don't think by having a special day for the Hmong in any way takes anything away from anybody else who contributed and helped the United States forces.
I can safely say that my life was probably saved by one of them. I served in Vietnam in a fire base about 2 miles south of the DMZ. This is a very emotional moment for me, and is much more so because I understand the emotion that Senator Herr and the people, his ancestors, his people feel. I think that what we have done here is an appropriate approach to recognizing a people who had no country. The people that served in the armed forces of many of the countries that helped us served as a part of their country, and I'm not saying anything other than that they served, they were in harm's way. The Hmong did not have a country. So I do not feel that it is incorrect to honor them with a separate honorarium. And ask everyone, it would be wonderful to see a unanimous vote on this particular provision, because I think it sends a message that the sacrifices were not lost, nor were they forgotten. I will never forget them. Thank you.
I had the privilege to be with General Powell and with an interpreter as he told the story. And it was a great privilege that I had to hear from General Powell, to meet with him, talk with him, and all the clan leaders as well. And you find that when you're with those who have fought alongside our U.S. soldiers for freedom, there's a special bond, especially since my husband served in Vietnam and took care as a nurse in the emergency room at a MASH hospital, direct battlefield casualties. And then later on in the last 6 months, he took care of injured civilians also frequently direct battlefield casualties or illness. The Americans took care of everybody, irregardless of their color. That was their passion, that was their commitment. And so it's really important for us that whenever we have this conversation, we must remember all who served together, all who helped the Hmong, who helped them, who served alongside them. And they were very, very valuable to each other. So, Senator Herr, I honor you and the Hmong and your contribution to our country, and also recognizing the contribution our country did try very hard to do for freedom fighters all across the world, but especially in the Vietnam War. And members, with that, I will, as we go forward to a vote, this is a time and this very unique situation that I think each member should vote their conscience. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Further discussion on the A46 amendment as amended. Senator Marty.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to thank Senator Herr for bringing this. Our family and our church helped settle some Hmong families 40 years ago. We still have ties with, and two little girls we consider grandchildren are Hmong children. And I want to second what Senator Ralph said, that the Hmong population was a much different one than many of the others who helped. They were not fighting as part of their nation's military. They were fighting because they cared and they thought that was the right thing to be doing. And they have no country in the sense that most of the population of Laos was not supportive of them, and most of them had no choice but to flee, being shot at as they did. And I think many of us know Hmong families who were shot at as they were fleeing.
Senator Herr.
And thank you, all members of our body here, senators. And first, I want to thank you, Senator Anderson, for having an engaging discussion. And you're a good man, good person, God-fearing person. So I thank you. I'm so happy to serve in this body with you. I also want to thank Senator Ralph for his story, and it means a lot. I'm in tears as well. I also want to thank Senator Kiffmeyer for her kind words. And this is my country now. This is our country now. It won't make sense if I said this is not my country, where I'm sitting in the center of Minnesota, in the state Minnesota capital. So this is my country now, and my children will die to defend this country as my forebear had died to defend this country as well. So thank you, Senator Kiffmeyer, for also bringing up mentioning General Vang Pao. And this is General Vang Pao's wish. He left a word before he died that May 14th, let May 14th be a day to remember his people. So, Senator Kiffmeyer, thank you. Thank you for I'm just happy to be in the Minnesota, the land of blue sky water. Thank you very much.
Members, we are on the A46 amendment as amended. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion prevails and the amendment is adopted.